I'll be completely honest with you. I already heard apparently the funniest thing about this chapter. Something about Sendo being deployed? What's up, guys? That guy with a pencil here. Fun fact, I do to have it on me and keep it on me at all times. Hey, another fun fact. You know what time it is. Come on. Oh, come on now. You know what it is. It's peak. Right. Wait. And I'm excited. I'm excited. Last chapter was like Kaneshiro Sensei simply reaching directly through the manga, grabbing me directly by the heart and squeezing it. Not like crushing it as he's done before. No, literally just squeezing it. Being like, hey, you love your family, right? I'm like, yeah, I do. And then I just remembered the whole idea that Kaneshiro Sensei wants to know if we'll love Isagi all the way through the end. And last chapter ended with his parents being like, hey, we'll love you no matter what you do, because you're going to crush people. And like, here's my thing. I will most likely love Isagi no matter what he does. So like, I don't know, I'm excited. Though I do genuinely wonder, with this whole multi-day thing before the World Cup stuff, and the idea that the World Cup is going to be pretty long, I'm actually interested to see how long this little intermediary arc, I suppose the training arc before the actual U20 World Cup arc, which I thought the Neo Eaters League was, I'm interested to see how long that's going to be. So let's not waste any more time. Let's hop right into chapter 305 of Blue Lock, which is known as X-23. The famous Marvel character? No, there's no dash between. If there's a dash between, the Disners, they'd be here. And they'd be tearing it apart. But, let's see. Here you go, your special yakisoba midnight snack. Is it true? Okay, now once again, thank you to every single one of my actual people who know fitness and health in the comments. And you know what? I say this not just to the fitness and health people, but like anyone who actually knows soccer, knows football, knows sports, your knowledge is invaluable. Like, I genuinely just don't have enough input. So I have a question. Is it actually bad to eat late at night? Because I've heard mixed things from like a bunch of different sources. Like, is it bad to eat at midnight? Like, typically, I don't try to eat too late because my stomach will just bubble and it'll feel weird as I lay on it. Because I'm a guy, I sleep on my stomach. I try to sleep on my back, but every time I try to sleep on my back, I end up like choking on my own spit in the middle of the night, and that's no fun. So I always just lay on my stomach. So like, if I've eaten really, really late and my stomach is bubbling and processing everything, then it's just really uncomfortable. But that's not it. Like, I've heard like there's actual negative health benefits to eating late. Is that true? Is that a thing? I don't know. Please let me know. But regardless, that aside, man, Henri, like, how much do you get paid, woman? I felt bad. Like, am I the one who feels bad for Henri? Like, it'd be one thing if Ego appreciated it. Like, this woman is out here cooking yakisoba. Like, I don't know. That looks delicious. And I don't even know what yakisoba is. Do I know what it is? I think it's like cold noodle. Not, is it? But it can't be cold. That's hot. Especially yakisoba. Like, that looks... I'd eat it right now. But then again, I'm just hungry. I'm very hungry. But with that being the case, like, I don't know. I feel so bad for this character, bro. And, like, it doesn't help that she's the only consistently recurring female character in the manga. It's like... She's just in this sausage fest, and you can tell Nomura always appreciates using her for less than savory reasons. So, like, I don't know. I hope nothing goes bad. But, hey, once again, Henri, kind of like the goated back, like, we had a battle of gods, quote-unquote, 2 chapters ago with Budasatsu and Ego. But, like, you want to talk about who's keeping Ego alive, and by proxy, keeping Bullock alive, it really is Henri. I'm not, obviously, like, Ego is a full-grown man. He'd be able to take care of himself. But still, I feel like she's the reason why Ego and Blue Lock itself was able to function so well. And honestly, I'd say she kind of, outside the players, obviously. Ah! My bad. But outside the players, obviously, I feel like she kind of is the emotional core of Blue Lock. Like, literally mom and dad kind of thing. Like, she's the one who, like, actually cares about the players' emotions and, like, mental well-being to some degree. While Ego's like, emotions, well-being. They either score the ball or they don't. So, like... Henri, a super slept-on character. I just feel so bad for her, though. But let's see. Leave it over there. Okay, fine. You've been playing lots of all-nighters lately, Iko-san. Are you taking care of your body? That, you know, funny thing is, I think I did used to pull all-nighters, but now I know if I tried that, I would just collapse. I've fallen asleep, like, sitting. I've fallen asleep standing before. I cannot do, like, admittedly, you know, I'm getting older. Like, my bones are aching and quaking, gosh darn it. But, like, darn, man. Like, I understand the idea of, hey, you don't do that. That's bad for you. Sleep as much as you can. The only thing that sucks, though, is because of the American education system. I am so hardline coded to wake up at 7 in the morning. I can go to sleep at like 5. Not a full all-nighter, but I can go to sleep at like 5 because I'm out late and I'm doing stuff. And then I will wake up at 7. And my body will be like, hey, we're tired. Why are we awake? And I'm like, I didn't want to wake up. Let's see. Are you taking care of your body? Your eye bags look even worse. Okay, yeah, that is rough. That is rough. But then again, I guess I'm assuming even if he doesn't like really respect Bodhisattva probably kicked Ego into high gear a little bit. And obviously, this is just like the most pivotal point, right? Like, obviously not the most pivotal, because like they still have the real World Cup to go and win. That's like the real goal. Like, that's the thing. It's weird to say because we've been building to the U20 World Cup arc since forever at this point. But it's not really the final arc. Like it's weird to say. It's kind of like it's not really the midpoint arc because like we had the selections, then we had the U20 game, then we had Neo Aegis. Now we're having the prep, but we'll skip the prep. Then we're gonna have World Cup. So technically, the Neo Aegis League is like the middle point of the manga, right? Because we're probably gonna have the U20 World Cup arc, and then again, let's see, selections, U20 game, Neo Aegis, U20 World Cup, club arc, World Cup arc. That's 6. So technically, they're kind of dancing next to each other as the middle. So we technically are in like the dead middle of the series. So technically, it isn't really the most important thing, but they probably won't have a chance to get to the most important thing unless they either do really, really well or win the U20 World Cup. So I get why Ego is so stressed. Because even if he does, like, obviously, Ego, despite me calling Henri the emotional core of the team, Ego does, like, fully recognize, respect, and understand his players' abilities, right? Like, that's why he himself said, he declared himself a god earlier. We're like, hey, bro, I know these kids. Because I'm the one who trained them up and raised them, gosh darn it. They would not be comp without me. So he definitely knows it, but he is like essentially he's on the point of proving, right? Like notably, I always think of it like studying versus the test. Essentially, Blue Lock and Ego himself have been doing a whole bunch of studying, like getting tech down, making sure things work. Like they've been in the lab essentially. They're now going to a tournament for the first time. And if they fail at this tournament, if they don't get at least like top 8 or top 4 or finals, they're blacklisted. Like they're basically irrelevant. So I get why Ego is so stressed and is doing everything he can. Like I remember once again the days when I did pull all-nighters. It's because I had presentations, I had SSE to get out. Like it was just I knew I was at that proving point. There's no more time for studying, no more time for prep. Like I just gotta go now. Let's see. I've been working on these personalized trainings and letters for all 23, so my other work has piled up. Ah, okay. So essentially, but you know, I do, once again, like I mentioned, even if Ego definitely is the more emotionally, or at least like openly and apparently emotionally detached to the two, he did go out of his way to personalize all these trainings and letters. Like, obviously the letters aren't too long, they're relatively simple, but still, at the same time, he knows these players. He's like, hey, I've watched you, I've witnessed you, I've helped you grow. I know what you need right now in order to develop as a player. And he's going out of his way to prep that and their specific trainings. And once again, the only thing I heard about this chapter was Sendo being deployed. So somehow, Ego got Sendo into a war. So like, I'm interested to see. Let's see. During this 14... Okay, so 14 days. So we'll be back when there are 36 days left of the World Cup. During this 14-day... Oh, wait. During this 14-day break, what are you trying to make those 23 points do? Henri-chan. What sort of process do you follow to cook food? Funnily enough, you know, I think I've been cooking more and more recently. Once again, I'm a full good man. So like I could cook my own meals, but I have been lazy. It'd be like cooking, but lazy. Yes. So what I do is right. So for yesterday's dinner, it was 2 lobster tails and a pound of scallops because I was feeling extra fancy. I needed the protein. Bada bing, bada boom. And literally, all I did, I could have pan-seared the scallops. I could have oven-baked the lobster. I did oven-bake the lobster. But literally, all I did was, I let the scallops and lobster thaw. I put it on my toaster oven tray. I cracked the lobster open. I sprinkled everything down with pepper, seasoned pepper, garlic, granulated onion, and I squeezed lime over it. Threw it in the toaster oven for 30 minutes, was done. That's my cooking. Like, I don't know. Sometimes I do be mad lazy. They're definitely like, and notably, that even branches out to like my broader varieties of cooking. I'll follow a recipe until it gets inconvenient. Like, sometimes I'll be looking at it, I'm like, I'm not doing all that. It'll taste close enough. So I'm kind of bad. I don't follow a process 100%. So Noel would not like me. I do not follow absolute logic all the time. Let's see. Henri-chan, what sort of process do you follow to cook food? Huh? Well, I think of what I want to eat, then go buy the necessary ingredients. Yeah, I guess when you're, like, intentionally cooking a meal. Like, for me, at least the way I do it, I buy by, like, sales. So, for example, I have a huge stockpile of shrimp because, like, a pound of shrimp was on sale. And I like to get things by the pound because that's typically what I like to eat. I like to get, like, a pound of protein a day. So, like, I have a pound of shrimp, a pound of chicken, a pound of whatever. So, like, I literally will go out, pre-buy, and then randomize whatever I feel like eating that day. So I don't actually go out and buy, like, the only time I will go out and buy something and then cook something is when it's, like, a special occasion. That's about it. Other than that, I'm not the kind who will, like, let me wait until the day I'm about to cook to go prepare something. I will plan out, like, a week in advance. Or a month. Like, I've had the same, like, bundle of shrimp for, like, a month now. Just because I bought a whole bunch of it. I feel so bad for the guy who was working that day, because, like, he had to manually wrap the shrimp, and I was like, hey, give me 20 pounds of shrimp. 20 pounds? Yeah, wrap it all individually, though. Do it for me, buddy. And he looked at me, and I looked at him, he looked at me, and I looked at him, he looked at me, and I looked at him, and he did it. Let's see. I think of what I want to eat, then I go buy the necessary ingredients. Am I lagging? No, okay. Precisely. I'm thinking of a recipe for a U20 World Cup. Yeah, that's the thing. He's mad stressed about that right now. But I do like that, though. Once again, Ego's not infallible. He's like a human guy. So, like, obviously, the stress is definitely, like, it's getting to him. Look at the bag, man. I'm thinking of a recipe for a U20 World Cup victory. And they have 14 days to acquire their missing ingredients. Shohei Barou-sama, go there. If you want to be a king again, that is. Interesting. A QR code? I wonder if is this actual? Well, I doubt it. It looks too, like, jacked up to be a QR code that we could use. But, and that's the thing, right? Like, these letters are pretty simple, but at the same time, I think that's kind of the point, right? Like, at least from Eagle's relationship with each of the Blue Lockers, whether it's highly specific or mostly indirect in the case of some, he is in a point where, like, blunt communication is the best way to communicate. And even I'm like that mostly nowadays, especially in, like, my professional side of things. Well, I am very long form and yapping on all my content channels. That's literally because I don't get to yap too much in work, because my role is very specifically, this was completed, done. This will be completed, done. Do you need help with this? Done. Like I don't know. All my emails are, like, barely more than one sentence. My opener, like, my good morning or good afternoon, and my signature, like, they are longer than the email half the time. Individually sometimes. Because I don't know, I'm very straight to the point. And I think it works for them. Like, notably, I'm the kind of guy where, like, interesting, he calls him Sama. Calls him all Lord. Or calls Barou Lord. I get it because he's good. But I think this kind of communication works for them, and it works, like, for me, because it's just simple. I don't know. Like, and I'm a person, if you couldn't tell, I love to go in deep and overanalyze things. Whenever it comes to, like, getting something done results-oriented, I'm very much like, okay, how do I get it done? That's how I get it done. Let me get it done. And that's it. I don't know. I've realized, and somebody even told me about that years ago. I was going through my schooling years, and one of my professors was like, "You're a very black and white person when it comes to your work." And I was like, "Yeah, typically," because I work in a very like, I'm not in the arts field at all, or in the literature field, nowhere near those. So a lot of the interpretational part of my work just doesn't exist, or, like, it just does. Like, I don't have interpretation. It's like, here are the numbers. Here's what the numbers do. Let's see. Jeez, what's that Four Eyes plotting? That's a good question. He did get, where did he end up going? University. Hey, you're Barou from Blue Lock, right? We've been waiting for you. Welcome to... Ego, what if they break his bones, Ego? Ego, what if they break his bones, Ego? Wait, I don't think he's ready for this. And we're not even gonna see. Okay, so, like, on you could only see a portion of the page. I'm seeing a little bit further beyond. I mean, like, I do get it, because notably, I'll say this about American football. As a person who, fun fact, I am relatively big, and of course, your boy has only gotten stronger as of recent. Like, these gains are new, but I always have been, like, not always. I was, like, either near 6 foot or at 6 foot, and then pretty darn hefty, yet relatively fast. So back when I was in high school, they were always like, "You, Pencil, join us, the football team." But I was heavily expecting to intelligence and was super scared of getting hit. So I never did it. But because of that, I will admit, for someone like Barou, who heavily relies on, like, his not just his aura farming dominance, right? Where he just like flexes his aura and then people get scared. He is also like a very physical player. And notably, funnily enough, this ties into a recent chapter of Blue Lock episode 9, which is ending soon. What Barou was lacking was ironically physicality when it came to the world stage. Of course, he was fighting like a full-grown man, but Barou himself is a full-grown adult, and he was lacking that physicality. At least from my understanding of American football, because I don't actually watch it all too much. It'll teach you physicality. It'll teach you physicality. It'll teach you the ability to kind of go all in and all out in everything you do. And while Barou definitely does that already, I definitely think that is a smart choice on where to send him to evolve him even higher. Because you don't have a choice. Like, unless you're playing... even if you're playing running back or quarterback, someone's going to try and tackle you. Like, that, like, no matter what, you always got to be ready to be tackled. The only person who never gets tackled is the kicker. As far as I know. Once again, I'm not that well-versed in American football. That's the only person who doesn't ever have to worry about getting tackled. That's it. Everybody else has to worry about getting tackled. And full body tackling in comparison to football. Or, regular worldwide football or soccer. So Barou, I think it's going to be an interesting experience for him. I hope we actually get to see a little glimpse of this, because it looks like we're immediately cutting away. Oh, okay, so never mind. He's calling them all Sama. It kind of takes away from it. I thought Barou was just going to be called Sama, because, the whole king thing. Let's see. My Guru Bachira-sama. Learn by teaching. Understand what it is, what it's like to be a kid. I guess maybe to, like, help bolster his freedom even more? That's interesting, though. But then again, I guess, like, what would you really... like, you wouldn't... I guess you'd maybe want Bachira to get better physicals? But at the same time, I guess it would also make sense to... I don't know why he does that. I guess it would also make sense to have him teach, I guess? It's a grade school? He's here! It's Bachira! Huh? But who are you? It's Bachira! The real deal! So cool! Yellow! Then again, he does have yellow hair. Bachira! Please, teach us about soccer! Okay. Interesting, though. Interesting. I guess because, notably, a lot of Bachira's past is based in isolation, right? Like, the whole reason he has the monster and was able to, like, re-unlock it and refine it for the new Ignis League was because he was lonely, right? He didn't really have, like, a normal kid experience. He was an outcast. So, I guess by using his newfound fame and having him reconnect with that childish side in a more, like... it's weird, because it's weird. I'll say this. As a person who is in, like, a weird spot in his family, like, there are a bunch of people who are, like, a decade older than me, and there are a bunch of people who are, like, a decade younger than me. Like, I'm in a relatively weird spot. I do have cousins who are, like, my general age group, but they also happen to be across the ocean. So, like, I just didn't really interact with them all too much. So I've always kind of been in a weird spot when it comes to, like, my family, at least. So I do understand that, like, different dynamic where, like, I remember being some of my younger cousins' age. But at the same time, interacting with them now as an adult versus when I was at that age is fundamentally different, but it does teach you things and it allows you to reflect. And I think a lot of personal development, I'd say, comes from self-reflection. Like, notably, I'm not saying to do it all the time. In fact, I definitely warn, do not spiral. If you're thinking like the negative parts, do not spiral. It is very easy to keep away from that negative music. Do not do what Pencil and many others do, where you're in a bad spot and then you put on like the most sad, depressing song ever. Don't do that. I don't know why we do it. Don't do it. It's bad. But do not be afraid to self-reflect. I think a lot of the biggest developments, at least for me as a person, and from other people I know as people, it comes from when you have that moment where you just sit back and think about who you are, who have you been, and what you want to be. Though your past, present, and future, reflecting on all those things can help you develop and change a lot. In a positive way. Of course, things are always up and down. Reflection can go nowhere sometimes. There are many times where I've sat back, because, like, I don't know, I have a break or anything, I'm just not thinking, I'm not recording, I'm just like, yo, game, who am I? What am I? Why am I? And I just can't come to an answer. I don't know the meaning of life. But at the same time, it is those moments of self-reflection that will allow you to develop. And this moment of self-reflection for Bachira, even if it comes through, like, multiple kids, teaching multiple kids about soccer, it will help him reflect and develop on who he is, who he was, and what he wants to be. Let's see. Got it. Guess I'm the teacher today. Yes, you are, bro. I'm happy he'll get to be relevant again and not locked to that bum behind to you, bro. I know he got to win, but, like, Bachira was just straight locked on Bachira, bro. I'm so happy he's free, and I'm so happy he's going to be relevant again. Let's see. Yomichigiri-sama, throw away your legs and become a fish. Well, you know what? I'm assuming this is... Oh, and interesting, it's repeated twice. Acquire? Yep, that's it. It's mainly for his stamina, right? And you know what? Someone pointed it out to me. And I don't even know. I'm not sure if it was on Reddit. I don't think it was in a comment section. But someone pointed out the speedsters in Blue Lock, and specifically Blue Lock, because notably Loki has not shown this problem at all. Just yet. Maybe we'll see it eventually. All of them are limited by stamina of some kind. For our two main speedsters, like the ones you'll think of when you first think of Blue Lock, they're limited by actual legitimate stamina and like a visual stamina. So Yukimaya and Chigiri. Chigiri is limited by literally he just doesn't have, because he's been out of practice for so long, his stamina for a long-term 90-minute game just isn't there. So I get swimming. Swimming is a full-body exercise. It works out every single muscle in your body. It is like the best aerobic endurance sport, I think, outside of like water polo or like anything that, I think like it's swimming, hockey, ice hockey, and there's a third sport I'm missing where like you're working out everything, you're engaged fully, and you're constantly moving something. So that makes sense for Yori to do, or for Chigiri to do. But then the other character, Yukimaya, remember, he goes blind after expending too much stamina. So that's another weakness by stamina. Corona just gets tired because he can't keep up with Metavision users and needs to use his speed at top form already at all times. So he needs to evolve that way. He also needs to get his stamina up. So he's going to have similar training. And then Zantetsu kind of never has expressed struggle with his stamina. But I feel like his speed always hasn't been the top tier cracked weapon it's supposed to be. Like, he has dumb, stupid acceleration, but because he never gets as much focus as like a Chigiri or Yukimaya, it's never like highlighted as much that he can get tired. Though there have been moments where he's like pushed through his tiredness. So it's kind of there. I'm interested to see his training. Whew. Acquire a heart and lungs that can endure your speed. I also stamina has always been one of my biggest weaknesses, obviously because I've always been a big guy. But even still, I know I want to get much, much, much better stamina. Just to have. I'm not competing or anything, but I just want to be able to do things for a longer period of time. Let's see. How's it pronounced? Is it Rensuke or Rensuke? I actually don't know. That's why if you ever wonder why I've never called him by his full name, it's always because Kunigami, I know it was pronounced. I'm not sure if it's Rensuke, because I know for the longest time, I was pronouncing Heisuke from Sakamoto Days wrong. It's Heisuke, not Heisuke. So I'm assuming it's similar to, for Kunigami, where it's Rensuke, not Rensuke, because Heisuke is just like Sasuke. So I'm assuming this is the same case here. I haven't watched the anime, if you can tell. But Rensuke Kunigami-sama. The answer lies in battle. Become the ultimate physical combat warrior. Interesting. So Kunigami as a striker is kind of dead. They really are they're essentially, so already, the wild card turned him into a copy of Noel Noah, right? So what are they doing now? Very specifically turning Kunigami into a copy of Snuffy. Because remember, what made Snuffy so dominant and so dangerous? It wasn't just the fact that he had a really good build, really good stats, really good vision, but it was also the fact that he had a black belt, and I think it was either one of the highest degrees or the highest degree in Jujutsu. So by sending Kunigami to learn how to fight, this is a twofold thing. Because remember, the one weakness he had in the final match, PXG versus BM, was that he couldn't man-mark Shidou for the entire game. Remember, that wasn't even a full 90-minute game. So Kunigami needs to get his stamina up, and fighting is, I think that's the third sport I was forgetting. Fighting is another one of those sports where you do need consistent high-level stamina. And Kunigami's getting that. And also he's just developing those skills. That ability to combat anybody. Literally by combating anybody. So that is... Once again, I'm seeing the vision so far in all these training. I see you, Ego. Yeah! Okay, Kunigami. I literally just made a thumbnail about a My Thoughts video on his run in the New Year's League. Can't wait to record that. Let's see. When you say Shidou-sama, do everything that's on your bucket list. Blue Lock will cover the... What? Wait, so the man just got free skydiving covered? Mamma mia! I'm so sorry. I'll admit, I love that, man. I don't know. I love experiences. I'm definitely an experience kind of guy where oh, you're offering me an experience? As long as it doesn't break the bank, I'll do it. So, Shidou doing everything on his bucket list. But you know what? I guess, if once again, I'm gonna try to do that ego leap here. Tapping the dome piece. I'm guessing this comes to the idea of Shidou's whole philosophy and ability is not just risking your life against others, like a Rin is, but also living life to the fullest. But ultimately, if he has these desires, if he has this bucket list, everything he wants to do before he'll die, if he gets that out of the way right now, he will truly give everything to the pitch, right? Because it is those slight things, those slight limitations. It is crazy. He doesn't even have like sleeves on. He's going skydiving with the arms out. That's wild. But it is one of those cases where if you have anything you want to do in life beyond a certain point, there's always going to be something subconsciously holding you back, right? And like, once again, it's mostly subconscious. You'll believe you're giving it your all, but then you'll actually be forced to give it your all, and you're like, whoa. So I get that. And once again, I think Shidou, he's one of those weird characters where, and don't get me wrong, I've had this idea before too, where like Shidou kind of hasn't really developed, he hasn't really changed all too much, but he is one of those static characters that kind of works in that way, where directly training him, like say having to do combat training or stamina training, none of that's needed. Shidou's kind of just cracked. Like, I'll admit, if you were to describe Shidou to me without the context of Blue Lock, hey, we have this super powerful, unbelievable person in this one position who kind of always guaranteed something crazy. They never get tired. They're one of the fastest characters in the series, and also decently physically strong to the point where it took the other physically strongest character in the series, with one possible exception, to lock them down for an entire game. And then that other character who was one of the physically strongest characters in the series and went through an entire program to make them one of the physically strongest characters in the series, got tapped out by this same character. I'd be like, that's a Gary Stu if I ever heard one. That's just Shidou. Like, Shidou's already cracked. So if the one worry Ego has that Shidou may not give everything to the pitch because he still has other thing he wants to do, yeah, let him get it all out. Let him chase all this adrenaline, let him have a good time, and then let him come back fully refreshed and empty and with nothing but Sakura on the mind. I see the vision. Let's see. Rinitoshi-sama, reflect on your ego once more. Once again, what I talk about, the idea of self-reflection. And that's the thing, right? I bet especially after that play, and you know which play I'm talking about in PhD vs. BM, that play, where he ended up giving up a goal opportunity, took the most irrational choice possible simply because he believed it wouldn't be good enough. I bet Eagle's like, you cannot do that. No. Because that cost him the game, right? Like, that literally cost PhD the game. If he had scored then and then scored again, that would have cost him the game. That they would have won. They undeniably would have won that. So I bet Ego, he probably didn't tell Rin directly, right? He did through the letter, but he probably, like, in his head is like, you're not doing that. And he wants Rin to reflect on his ego so he can still access it, right? Still access Destroyer mode. You see, look at that. There we go. So Rin here, he's reflecting on Isagi and Sei, the two cores of his motivation right now. He gets whacked on the shoulder, interesting. Bow to, gets angry. Oh, wow. Let's see. Ego himself literally says, your desire should not rely on pure destruction. Yeah. Because that's the thing, right? Don't get me wrong, Rin is still unstoppable. Nyan unstoppable. Like, I'm like, as much as I'm not really a Rin anti, I'm just like a Rin neutral. Like, notably, I'm just mostly indifferent to the character. I think he's well written. I think he's fine. Like, don't get me wrong. But he's not even in my like top 5 Blue Lock characters. And I have characters who are much worse written than Rin in my top 5. What characters are those, you may ask? That's for another video. But with it being the case, pure instinctual destruction can kind of become predictable because you can only destroy yourself so many ways as a striker. And we saw that when Rin kept going for the crash shot, kept going for the same thing over and over again. So once again, what he'll need to do is find that balance he started to find in the PhD vs. BN game, where he had the destructive ego, but still had the mind of a manipulator. So he was destroying not simply through physical contact and conquest, but also destroying indirectly through breaking up a play, preventing something, and ultimately acting optimally through destruction. So it's kind of like what Beerus says in Dragon Ball Super. I think it's just Super. I don't think he says in Battle of Gods or Resurrection F. He says, before creation must come destruction. There is that thought process that in order to create, one must be able to destroy. But Beerus is not, and most of the gods' destructions are supposed to not be beings just entirely focused on rampant, wild destruction. I saw a lot of people saying, especially when Beerus was first revealed, well, wasn't Kid Buu just a god of destruction? Why not Kid Buu? Kid Buu. Kid Buu was wanton, mindless, wild destruction that would just annihilate and eviscerate everything. Kinda like the purest form of Destroyer Rin. That's not good, though. Destroying everything leaves nothing. And with no intention to create afterwards, what's the point? But for Rin to develop, he needs to go beyond destruction, go beyond his current limited viewpoint, and then realize he can destroy to create and create to destroy. it's a complicated thing, but it's a thing. I see the vision. Let's see. That was number 50, old man. That is actually crazy. But hey, I mean, that's the thing. You gotta be able to. I think self-control is generally important. And it's funny. I just recently had a conversation about this. It's the idea of the dichotomy, right? You do need to be able to stand up for yourself and not take too much disrespect. I'd say even in the workplace, you don't want to be bossed around or pushed around too much. But at the same time, you gotta be able to get. Well, it's a common phrase. You gotta know when to hold them and know when to fold them. You gotta be able to realize when being self-actualized to the extreme is actually a detriment to you and will hold you back versus a time when it isn't. There are times to go all in and be your true absolute self, and there are times where you just hold back. It can still be you. You are always you. No matter what mask or face you put on, that is still just a version of you. But you gotta know which version to use and show at the appropriate time. They're very interesting, all these other monks that come to stop them. Let's see. Oh, alright. Mikage Corporation, Special Training Room. Here we are with Rayo, another character who I literally just made a thumbnail for. I'm going to talk about his new Eagles League run. Let's see. Hey, Rayo. If I hadn't relied on you, Rayo, I wonder if I would have had a different future. And that is like... It's I don't know, man. I've been thinking more and more about Nagi. It's just because like my own philosophy and like how I view like what humans are. I think there are a couple things that make us human. Intelligence, chief amongst them. But another thing that really makes us human is our nature as social creatures. We aren't like lions, tigers. Well, we are like lions, but we're not like tigers and bears, oh my. Where tigers and bears are, depending on the bear, is mostly like isolationist and like they live by themselves and are perfectly fine with that. Humans are social by nature, and ultimately it is okay, if not good, to rely on people. But this is something I struggle with to this day. I don't like relying on people. I like connecting with people. If you couldn't tell, I love to yap, but I don't ever like putting my burdens on somebody else or even sharing my burdens. Like the whole idea of carrying something on your head versus putting it on your shoulder with somebody else to walk with. I never like that. I don't know. And it's always been a me thing. I've been told by my parents numerous times, hey, rely on us. And I'm like, no, I'm good. I've been told by friends numerous times, you can rely on me. You can talk to me. I'm like, no, I'm good. And teachers, authority figures, bosses, like all that. You can rely on me. I just don't like it. I don't like it. I've always been like, I will do it myself. And of course, once again, it goes back to the idea I was just talking about. You gotta know when to hold them and know when to fold them. There have been times where I've had to fold them. Like, I'm like, okay, no, I just cannot do this by myself. Hey, slide me an assist. But that's like desperation to the top level. Don't like if I'm coming to you saying I can't do this by myself, you know it's serious. As anyone who knows me, like if Pencil comes asking you for help, the world's about to end. But because of that, I do genuinely feel bad for Nagi. Even if I'm a person who's always been like, man, we ball, and by we ball I mean I ball. I get the will, because it's human nature, right? Like you want to connect, you want to rely. And it's healthier to connect than to rely. It's built into you. It's part of your DNA. But unfortunately, it just wasn't the time. Once again, you had no one to hold him. But unfortunately, now you folded him. Let's see. I keep thinking about him. I've seen people to this day in the Blue Lock fandom deny the BL of BL. It's not subtext, y'all. It's just text. I was like, somewhere in my mind, I thought we'd always be together. So I still haven't adjusted to life without Nagi. Ugh, what a pain. I see what you did. I see the callback. But yeah. That man, and it is hard, right? Like, once again, for the longest time, me and my best homie, the guy I've known since 4th grade, we had a bunch of classes together. But very specifically in high school, we went down different paths. Because of just like the programs we did. He did the regular high school path. I did a path that would allow me to like get ahead in certain ways. I took like a whole bunch of classes for college credit and get my like a whole bunch of things out of the way early. But thusly we went down different paths. And as you know, in school, if you're not seeing each other, you're not seeing each other. So we literally like only had some after school clubs and time to hang out after that. And it is those moments where like you kind of get used to them always being there. And then when you're finally without them, you're like, darn. Like, this is life now? Like, what am I going to do? So I understand that. And Rayo didn't know Nagi for that long, but Nagi did sort of bring a light into Rayo's life, just as Rayo was a light into Nagi's life. So I understand that, like, that listless feeling that you get when you lose someone who either you thought or literally did help define you as who you are. Let's see. Oh, this character. We haven't seen her in a while. Mikage Corporation, Rayo's personal attendant, Gran.
Pardon me, Master Rayo.
Oh, Gran.
You have received a letter from Blue Lock.
Huh? Rayo Mikage-sama. You are Rayo Mikage-sama. You are Blue Lock's special soldier? Become the master copy of all remaining Yeah, that's the... And you know, here's the thing. I'm going to talk about it in the Rayo video. But I'll talk about it here as well. Because I've developed a reputation in the reviews as like a Rayo hater. A Rayo, like whatever the opposite of a Rayo rider is. I've been kind of developed that. I will not deny. Rayo is the most flexible player. Period, point blank. He can do anything. He can do anything, and that's always useful. And the reason I kind of kicked him out of my own top 10, but I'm reconsidering it now. Once again, I'm going to make it like a whole like tier list video on my top 23, like my official ranking and stuff like that. How I would rank him. I think I'll slide Rayo up there. But my main thing is, I'm never picking Rayo for a starter. Never. And then I think that's what always comes to my head. Like, if I'm thinking top 10, I'm like, who am I throwing on the pitch first? It's never Rayo. It's never Rayo. Because I'm always saving Rayo in case one person goes down, or one person gets injured, or one person is tired. Like, that's my thing, right? Like, I just don't... Like, what am I starting Rayo as? Am I starting him as a striker? No. I got 5 different other options that I'm picking way before Rayo. Am I starting him as a midfielder? Maybe. Just because, like, without say, if we just go without say, what's his comp? Hiyori? Like that's literally it. Like who else is a comp? Hiyori? Like that's all I got. And like maybe Yugi-ma. I was like, I don't know, but like maybe I'm starting Rayo as a midfielder. But outside of that, I'm saying Rayo. But even then, am I though? Am I saying because I have Hiyori, I have Karasu, Yukimaya. Oh, Yukimaya's kind of a midfielder though. I ain't gonna lie to you. So like they're definitely, but there are other midfielder options. But Rayo, he could definitely be like a midfielder. And defensively, I could definitely see Rayo. But then again, you have Nico, you have Ryu. But then again, Nico, the one thing I'll give, yeah, you can't really make an argument for Nico. Even if Nico does have like a higher level of meta vision, like it's still like Rayo just has a better build for it. So this is the thing. That's why Rayo, like he's definitely rising in my estimations the more I think about it. So I do agree with the idea of having him become the master copy. If he's gonna be a blank slate, max him out, man. Like literally make him a choice scarf ditto, dog. A choice scarf ditto with imposter. Have him just become a copy and be just as good as he can be to hopefully stop whatever's in front of him. Let's see. Become the master copy of all remaining players?
Master, this SD card was included as well. It seems to contain recordings of specific plays by the other 22 players.
Why did Ego give me this assignment? Rayo. Get them synapses firing, bro. Get them synapses firing. This one's not complicated. Your whole thing is copying. Rayo. Your whole demographic is copying. What do you mean, why did Ego give you this assignment? Of course you're going to be made to copy everyone else. You don't have anything of your own yet. If ever. Let's see. Once again, though, as someone wisely pointed out a while ago, and I mentioned my own Blue Lock OC, the Chimera idea is definitely going to become a thing for Rayo. The idea where he's going to evolve from a chameleon to a Chimera, where he's going to start fusing different egos and abilities in order to go beyond that 99% limit. Like, I made that for my OC. That's why I got to get that OC video out before Rayo gets an evolution, so people won't say I fully rip Rayo. Let's see. Especially as a Rayo anti, seemingly, I can't not rip Rayo before I rip Rayo. Let's see.
But I must say, Master Rayo, despite your physical abilities, this seems to be an impossible task for a mere 14 days.
Yo, Grand hyping her up is kind of downplay Rayo is kind of crazy. But you know, if Rayo's anything like me, tell me I can't do something, dog. Tell me I can, and I may fail anyway. It's happened before. I've been like, yeah, tell me I can't do it, and I'll fail. But being told I can't do something is the number one way to make me do it. Like, the reverse psychology does go absolutely crazy on me. Unless I'm able to tell. If I can tell I'm being gaslit, then I'm like, no, you're not in this episode, and I'll banish it. But, like, half the time, tell me I can't, especially if it's from someone I trust. Like, I can't imagine the amount of times where, and notably, I know they always made it in good faith, when it specifically comes to my parents. My parents would have, in the past, they'd be like, you can't do track, do drama, do all honors classes, do some college classes, be the president of some club, and be an executive board member of multiple. You can't do all that. And I was like, yada yada does it. And I did it. Would I do it again? No. It wasn't fun. I mean, it was fun, like, doing it in the moment, but, like, man, there were some long late nights, and darn was I just consistently tired. But, let's see. No, I'll do it. I don't need to use my brain right now. Just my body. I mean, I mean, if he's able to, like, perfectly replicate the movements, yeah. Yeah. The best way to do something is kind of train to muscle memory. Ego's words always hold a meaning beyond what I can imagine. I'll ace this homework, and then I'll become the #1 protagonist. Ah, alright, interesting. So this is, so I'm going to get a full view of everyone else's training, but let's take a look at who's doing what. Corona, once again, makes sense. Running with the dog, building up that stamina. Raichi wrestling. Once again, making him better as a duelist, that makes sense. What is, who? Oh, Kiora doing hurdles, I think? That's interesting. I mean, I guess to have him reincorporate his breakdancing, because he didn't do his breakdancing at all during PXG versus BM. I'll admit, if there's one weakness of that match, it really is Kiora. He truly does feel like a plot device-esque character who was just there to get Kaiser that legendary goal and then clip for him. Karasu running miles. Interesting. But I guess considering he's probably still going to be like a CDM, he's going to need that stamina. He's going to need to be that solid core of the team who can also just run forever. Otoya, seemingly in a virtual reality simulation, once again to get his reactions up, I'm presuming. Denase becoming ambidextrous with his hands as well is interesting, because we already know he's ambidextrous with his feet. But I guess just getting that full body motion and ambidextrosity down, that does make sense. I guess it... Once again, when your whole body is uniform, it's better. Like, notably, despite how hard I've trained to, like, try and make the left arm as strong as possible, and I am left-handed with some things. Like, I drive easier with left hand. I guide, like, a bicycle with one hand a lot easier. That's kind of it. But my right arm is still stronger than my left. That's because I was born right-handed, so I've always just had a right-sided preference, and thus, like, that gap has always been maintained. So I'm always in balance. And ultimately getting that perfect balance, especially for someone who needs to be ambidextrous, that does make sense. Are you doing martial arts is interesting. At least I think that's Ryu. So that's an interesting thing for him. I guess so he gets more complex leg movements, though I'm shocked he's doing hand-to-hand martial arts and not kicking. Let's see. Sendo, he can't actually be deployed. Like, this is the image I saw. He cannot actually be deployed. Right? Right? I gotta be like, he's not actually deployed. I'm assuming this is paintball or something. Like, there's no way Ego actually sent him to a live battlefield for 14 days. Let's see. Nico getting his gains up, that makes sense. Giving him a stat boost, that makes perfect sense. Hiyori, interesting, more video game training for Hiyori. But once again, I suppose the main thing Hiyori needs is that, like, auto-reaction facilitation, cutting down the time between processing and action as much as possible, and a good way to do that is through video games. And he does have just solid enough physical stats already. Interesting, Fukaku undergoing meditation, but I suppose this is, you know, for Zen training. And why does he have a sword? Why does he have a sword? Why on earth does he have a sword? that just ripped the souls right out. Why? No. Wait a second. Okay, the keyblade almost fell and broke everything, but... Why does he have a sword? I'm not tweaking, right? That's just an actual katana, bro. I know he's the one-on-one emperor. What is he doing? I mean, I guess that's getting used to the idea of making every duel life or death, I suppose. Have him learn swordsmanship, I guess. Once again, I'm stretching for that one. Gagamaru getting him adjusted. Interesting, he's playing baseball, but once again, I'm guessing that's to get him more adjusted to reacting to even smaller windows, smaller things. A baseball is smaller than a soccer ball, so having him do that makes sense. Is Zantetsu practicing sprints? I wonder, though. That's an interesting. But I guess we're just really highly speccing Zantetsu into his start speed. That makes sense. And then Aiku... Kingcraft, sports administrator. Oh, okay. I thought Isai was gonna be the captain. It looks like Aiku's gonna be the captain of the U20 Cup team again. At least if this training's any indication. And I guess it makes sense. He is pretty darn marketable. He was already a captain before, and his specs are already kind of maxed out. I get why not wasting anything on him. Let's see. Right. In the end, they're all strikers. When they meet again with that instinct intact, the chemical reaction of #1's X23 will create a new Blue Lock feud. Ah, okay. #1, X23. So all these characters are being built to perfectly facilitate the #1s. Isagi Yoichi and Rin Itoshi. Interesting. And that is the end of the chapter. The yakisoba was delicious. So get some proper sleep in your room. Good work. What? You didn't have to see. You did not have to include that last part, Hugo. Really? Really? I mean, it was kind of, for Ego, that's kind of enough. That's nice. That's nice. He let her sleep. He let her sleep. It looks like, did he, wait, was Ego actually a gentleman for once? Did he have a blazer on at the start of the chapter? No, he didn't have a blazer on. Did she have a blazer? Well, maybe that's her own blazer, but it almost even looks like he didn't just tell her to go to sleep and, you know, screw off. But also, he gave her a blanket. That's nice. That's sweet. That's adorable. I like that. So overall, nice. A calm little chapter. Once again, we're in that transitionary period. But I get it. You do want to have a little bit of cool. Okay, Kingdom Key. I am not risking you, buddy. We're moving you back before I put this katana back. Speaking of katana going back, I need to move you back right this instant. I need to move you back up here right this instant. I need to place you back right this instant. Then I need to pick this up right this instant. And W chapter. I like. Once again, I know this is definitely probably gonna get a bunch of like filler allegations, and like people are just gonna be like, "Where's the World Cup? Where's the World Cup? Where's the World Cup?" But I do think this intermediary period is nice. It's needed. Let's just decompress from the previously. Let's just think about it, reflect on it, and like I've been doing. Once again, I think this spacing between the two arcs is worth it. And it builds suspense for it. And that's kind of the thing, right? We just came off the high of the previously. We need some time to like really build into the 21 World Cup. And I think this chapter is perfect for that. So overall, if you made it all the way to the end of this video, please do me a favor and leave Ultimate Protagonist. Yeah, I said it. Ultimate Protagonist in the comment section down below. I'd like to thank you so much for watching. Please remember to leave a like, share, comment, and subscribe. And make sure that notifications so you don't miss out on any videos that come to the channel. Also, you're going to have a Patreon down below where you can support me for as low as $1, get them on. These exclusive videos, early content, and more. And so now become a member of the channel for as low as $3 a month to get the same perks and more. So those perks will include the live reactions, so other series I have to review, ad variations of all my videos, and if you become a $12 Patreon or a $12 member, you can order whatever video you want. Also, I have a link to my Ko-Fi in the description down below, and drop 5 minutes for a short video, 29 being a long video, or any beans at all. Any support is always greatly appreciated. Now, I'd like to thank you so much for watching once again, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. This is That Guy with the Pencil, writing off. I'd like to give a thank you to our sketch tier members: Eternal Flame, Redwolf 4765, Astro, Super Flame Zero, Glacier XZ, Zera, Brandon Payne, J2MA, Guillaume, Buddha Uda, Alex Kenny, Yuki Ally, Enzo, Nevis97, Zachary Wilson, Azo2404, Planet Crone, Rye Rich, and G Prosper. Then, I'd like to give a thank you to our line art tier patrons: Sean, Midnight Lord 21, Kevin Encarnacion, Dread Zoen, and A+A. Then, I'd like to give a thank you to our Ink tier members: Austin Wimberly, A. Uchiha, and Shrimpo the Shrimp. Then, I'd like to give a thank you to our digital art tier members: J Warrior and AZ Void. Then, I'd like to give a thank you to our colored art tier patrons: Waki Munoz and Waki Munoz. And I think the final, Giga, Super Gargantuan, Legendary, Ultimate, and even further beyond thank you to our Ultimate tier, That Guy with a Pencil tier patron, Calvin Elder.